So I'm filming this video in my truck, obviously, as I'm sitting and waiting and killing some time. So I thought I'll go ahead and do the intro for this garage that I just completed. I did this, built this garage before I ever thought I was going to do YouTube videos. So it's going to be entirely voiced over, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't really plan on ever making a YouTube video out of it. And so since then I thought, well, maybe I will. So the whole thing is entirely voiced over. I apologize for that. I don't really care for those kind of videos myself. So I understand. In the future, hopefully they will be more real-time kind of thing instead of talking over it after the fact. But anyway, so talk about the garage. This is a 36 by 30 garage. It has one 18-foot door, two 9-foot doors, and a 36-inch man door. I built it entirely by myself. I don't have help or anything. I did all the carpentry work. Everything that's wood, I did it. Of course, the masonry, the concrete work, brickwork, and the shingles were subbed out. I subbed the shingles out because by the time I got to the shingles, I was just done. So I paid someone else to do the shingles just to, alleviate me from having to do it. So, stick around and watch, and I'll show you how I built this garage. So here's day one of a 36 by 30 garage build with two 9-foot garage doors and one 18-foot garage door. I'm just showing up today to see that the concrete and masonry work is done, making sure the J-bolts are in place where they're supposed to be. They did a really good job getting the foundation nice and square, so that really made everything helpful throughout this build. I did have a couple of problems with some of the J-bolts that were, I guess, probably knocked loose when they were pouring the concrete, so I had to go back and epoxy some of those in there, but it really wasn't a big deal. Here I got the mud seal down. I put a seal foam down first, and then used a 2x6 treated plate to bolt the mud seal down to the floor or to the foundation wall. Day two, my first round of materials had arrived, and I'm just going over checking to make sure stuff is where it's supposed to be. They were supposed to put it in the center of the floor and not by the walls, but I worked around it. I was able to knock up the walls today. I did not build them on the ground like I normally do. I had to build them standing up because, again, doing this by myself, it was just too hard to build them on the ground and then try to raise them up on the foundation wall. So I just basically, built them standing up and built them in place. Here I got the plywood on, and on most of the walls, the sections you see open, that's where the bracing is. And I didn't want to take the bracing loose just to attach it to the OSB. It'd be more stable this way. So I left the bracing in place, and I just went back and put the OSB up later after I got the roof on and was able to take the bracing off. The special order headers have arrived, and now it's time to put them up. This one is a 24-inch wide by 20 feet. I have to cut it down long, and I think it's 1 5/8 inches thick. These smaller ones are 12 inches wide, and those are for the smaller doors. So I was able to get these up. I had to use a duck lift in order to lift the 24-inch header over that big garage door. The trusses are in, and as you can see, most of them are up already. They're about 40 feet long along the bottom cord. I really thought I was going to be able to lift these things up one end at a time by myself, but they were just entirely too heavy for that. So I had to go back to the rental company and get the duck jack again, which made raising the trusses much more manageable. I was able to slide the duck jack into the peak of the trusses and raise them up above the walls and then set them in place, and that made it a whole lot easier to do. Here all the trusses are in place, temporarily braced up. Still need to go back and place bracing along the bottom cord, spaced every 10 feet on center according to the engineer specifications. The next task was to start the sheeting. I used 19/32 or close to 5/8 OSB for the sheeting. The rafters or trusses, they're 24 inches on center, so I also used H clips in between each rafter or each truss to add some additional support for that. All right, now the sheeting is all done. I've sheeted the both ends of the gables and sheeted the top of the walls where the full sheets didn't make it all the way to the top, so I had to add strips there. Got the wrapping on, ready for the brick. Here's a picture of the interior headers. A code requirement, if you can see the top of the headers there, that's a coil strap that goes from the top plate across the header down to the studs. That was a code requirement that I had to add. Honestly, I didn't know I had to add that, but I was told, so I did it. Pretty easy addition, so not a hard fix. In addition to all these garage doors, I put a 36-inch steel door, man door, on the front corner of the building. There's a view from the outside with some steps leading up to the door. And as you can see, the brick is complete. The white vinyl soffit and aluminum fascia has been installed and is complete. The trim around the garage doors is done, and the electrical work is finished. The electrician installed lighting sconces on the outside of the garage doors, as well as lighting on the inside, and along with some outlets inside the house. I did not do the electrical work. The garage doors are almost complete at this point. They have to come back to finish the setup for the garage doors, but they've been installed. And here's a finished view of the entire front of the garage. The gutters have been installed. The gutters were black to match the house gutters and trim at the owner's request. All right, so that does it for this garage build. I hope you like the garage and how it turned out. I think it turned out pretty well. I know the homeowners are happy. I hope you liked the video. Again, I'm sorry for the voiceover. Next garage build, I'll do it in real time. I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and stick around and see what videos I have next. It's a brand new channel. I have a few other videos currently on here now, but hopefully as time goes on there'll be more and more, and hopefully at least one of them will maybe strike your interest. Thanks for watching.